Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the mind of Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI.
Yeah, we're breaking down a recent interview he did.
Exactly, trying to uncover the golden nuggets about the future of AI and what all this means for you, the listener.
I think it's really interesting to hear from Altman right now, especially since OpenAI is leading the charge in this whole AI revolution.
Right.
What he says gives us a glimpse into not just the technology itself, but also like the driving forces behind all of it.
Absolutely. And one of the things that really jumps out, one of the biggest takeaways, is his prediction about AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
He believes we're potentially just thousands of days away from it. Thousands, not millions of days.
That's a game changer.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it really underscores how quickly AI is evolving.
Yeah.
Just think, AGI, which is a system as intelligent as a human, could be right around the corner.
I mean, that's not sci-fi anymore.
It's not, no.
Yeah.
It's potentially a reality we need to be prepared for.
Now, Altman does acknowledge this is based on OpenAI's current pace of progress, but even with that caveat, it's still pretty mind-blowing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what breakthroughs they're seeing that make them so confident about this timeline.
Yeah.
And this confidence, this conviction that they have, it's a recurring theme in Altman's whole story, really. He talks about how OpenAI went against the grain early on, and they really focused on deep learning and scaling when a lot of other people were skeptical. This more is more philosophy, as he calls it, was a big gamble.
And it paid off.
Spectacularly.
It's almost counterintuitive, right?
Right.
I mean, in many fields, less is more. But with AI, throwing more data, more computational power at the problem,
Seems to be working.
that's what's yielding these results.
It is. It really challenges how we traditionally thought about innovation. What Altman is suggesting is that with AI, scale is what's driving this progress. The more you feed these systems, the more they learn, and that just brings us closer to AGI.
Like building a rocket, but instead of making it lighter, more efficient, you just keep adding bigger and bigger engines.
Exactly. And that brings us to OpenAI's development process. They're constantly pushing the boundaries, and they're not afraid to experiment. Take the shift from GPT-3 to GPT-4. Altman mentions how user feedback was crucial, specifically from Jake Heller at Casetext. That feedback really signaled that they had something truly groundbreaking with GPT-4.
So Heller's experience showed them GPT-4 wasn't just an incremental upgrade, it was a total leap forward.
Exactly.
Like it could understand and generate text in a way that felt almost human. And that's when even Altman realized, okay, we've got something special here.
It's amazing how important user feedback was in OpenAI's development, isn't it? It really underscores the importance of real-world application and testing. You can build a powerful AI system in a lab, but it's the interaction with users, that messy complexity of the real world, that reveals its true potential.
For sure. And that focus on real-world impact, that's something Altman brings from his earlier entrepreneurial experiences. He talks about Looped, his first startup. It was a social networking app, co-founded it when mobile phones were just starting to take off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't a huge success or anything.
Right.
But it gave him some really valuable experience.
Yeah.
Like with platform shifts, something that's so important now in the age of AI.
Definitely. Altman saw firsthand how fast technology can change and how it can completely disrupt whole industries. He witnessed the rise of mobile phones and saw how that created a whole new world of apps and services. And those lessons, he's applying them to the AI revolution now.
And he's got some pretty direct advice for anyone who wants to ride this AI wave. He says, bet on this tech trend. He really emphasizes the incredible opportunities for startups.
He sees startups as having this key advantage in AI speed.
Right.
They can move faster, adapt quicker, and they can take risks that those bigger companies might shy away from.
They're like speedboats, right?
Exactly.
Weaving through a sea of giant tankers.
Yeah, they see the changes coming, and they can just adjust course way easier.
But Altman's also realistic, right?
Oh, yeah.
He cautions against thinking that just using AI guarantees success. You still need a strong foundation, a clear vision, and most importantly, you've got to be solving a real problem for people.
Definitely. You can't just take a mediocre idea, sprinkle some AI on it, and think it's going to turn to gold.
Yeah.
So speaking of vision, Altman's vision for the future of OpenAI, it's incredibly ambitious. He talks about reaching level 5 of AGI, which is essentially an AI that can work at the scale of a whole organization.
So like an AI that can not only understand and generate text, but can manage these complex systems, make decisions, and even oversee whole departments.
Yeah, like a super intelligent CEO working alongside you.
Pretty wild.
It is. And Altman believes the path to this level 5 AGI is becoming more clear, letting OpenAI move faster towards this goal.
So it's not just hype. The fact that OpenAI is defining these levels of AGI, it suggests that they're seeing some serious progress in their research.
Yes.
Exciting stuff. And one thing that really stood out to me was how Altman's own values are kind of woven into his vision for AI. He talks about how technology has improved lives, and you can really feel his sincerity when he talks about wanting to make the world a better place through his work at OpenAI.
It's really refreshing, actually. It adds that human element back into this whole conversation about AI. Reminds us that behind all the algorithms and data, there are people, and they're driven by a desire to do good.
He comes across as this brilliant technologist, but also someone who's aware of the potential consequences of what he's building.
It's a really good combination, actually.
Yep.
Reassuring and inspiring at the same time.
Yeah. And it brings us back to that big question. What role do we want AI to play in our lives? I mean, we've talked about the power of AI, the importance of scaling, the need for feedback from users, and the vision of this leader who believes in technology's potential to make the world a better place. But we've only scratched the surface.
So before we get to the last part of our deep dive, we want to leave you with this thought. If AI could solve any problem in the world, what would you choose?
That's a question that really makes you think, huh?
It does.
There are so many possibilities, so many challenges that AI could maybe potentially address.
I know. It can feel a little overwhelming, to be honest. You've got climate change, disease, poverty, inequality.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the scale of AI's potential and where we should, focus our efforts.
Exactly.
It's almost like we've been handed the keys to this, incredibly powerful engine.
Yeah.
And we have to decide which way to steer it. Do we try to solve those immediate crises? Or do we go for the long-term challenges? Do we tackle problems that impact everyone equally? Or focus on issues that specific groups face?
These are the questions we should be asking as AI keeps developing. It's not just about what it can do. It's about, our values, what we prioritize, what kind of future we want.
And that's what makes Altman's perspective so important. He's not just building AI. He's really thinking about the consequences. And he's really advocating for responsible development. He sees this as a way to make progress, a tool to create a world where everyone can thrive.
His idea of an age of abundance, driven by AI and this easily accessible energy, it's a really powerful concept. It asks us to imagine a future without scarcity, without those limitations that have always defined, our existence.
Yeah, a future where AI could help solve climate change, disease, and unleash this incredible potential for human creativity and innovation.
But that kind of future isn't just going to happen on its own, right? It needs effort, planning, and we've got to be willing to face some tough ethical questions. We have to make sure AI is developed and used to benefit everyone, not just a few.
And that's where you, the listener, come in.
Yeah.
As we finish this deep dive, we want you to keep thinking about that question. What problem would you want AI to solve? How can you help shape the future?
Absolutely.
Whether you're a tech person, an entrepreneur, or just someone who cares about this, your voice matters.
It really does. The future of AI is being written now.
Yeah.
And we all have a part to play in shaping it.
So stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay curious. The possibilities are pretty much limitless.
They really are.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, everyone.